What's up everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. Thank you guys for tuning in. So in today's episode, we're gonna focus on painting the whole second floor apartment. And the other day I ended up buying a Graco X7 machine and I ended up priming all of the walls, the ceiling and the trim. I wanted to get a feel for the machine before I made a video on it. So today we're back and we're gonna start with the ceilings. So I'm gonna lay the final coat down. I bought Promar flat paint from Sherwin-Williams, and I think it's gonna be like a 3-part series. So we'll start with the ceilings today. I'll let it dry. I'll mask it off. I'll come back and do the walls in the next video. And then the last video, we'll go ahead and show you guys how I did the trim. So before we get started, I'll show you guys how I masked the windows, what I did with the floors, and then we'll jump right into it. All right, everyone. So I ended up buying a 3M hand masker, which is right over there. And all I did was pretty much buy, I think it was 4 feet 3M plastic tape, and I pretty much covered the windows with that. And then there was a little piece left over, and then I had some brown masking tape that I just used to mask the bottom. So I am gonna paint the inside of the trim, which is why I didn't block that off, but all of the windows pretty much look exactly like that. Now the floors, I didn't really cover in this room too much because we're just gonna end up sanding it and redoing them anyway. If you saw my last video, you can see that there was paint. They painted pretty much the perimeter of this wooden floor. So we're just gonna have to sand it is the only way, and then put a new finish coat on there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then all around the trim, I ended up putting brown paper as well, just so it doesn't get on the floor, which technically doesn't really matter because I'm gonna end up redoing the floors anyway, but just to not sand off a lot of paint, I ended up doing that. So this door we're gonna end up painting as well. I primed it a little bit, sanded it down, so we're just gonna lay a final coat down once I take it off. But this door will be painted as well. If you guys wanted to know what machine I was talking about, this is the Graco X7 machine I was saying. I'm not gonna do a review on it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a ton of reviews out there, so you guys can go ahead and look at those. But I am gonna show you something that's different from mine than a lot of other people's. So it does come with a 25-foot hose, and as you can see, some of them have this banding on it, and I'll show you what I mean by mine. So you can see on the other end, you can still see the banding on it, but what I ended up doing is I attached this hose whip from Paintline TV. So if you guys watch a lot of painting videos, you might know who that is. So I ended up buying it from his store, and I attached the other end to the end of my spray gun, and you can see there's no banding. So what that does for me is it just makes it a lot easier for me to spray. Don't get a lot of arm fatigue, and not only that, it gives me more flexibility to move around because the banding is a little stiff. So that hose whip is just meant to be a lot more flexible, so it makes it 10 times easier for me to go ahead and keep spraying for the rest of the day. So that's pretty much my setup. We're gonna go ahead and paint the rooms. After this video, like I said, I'll make part 2 and 3, and then I'll do another vlog video. I'm pretty sure I have that one up on the channel already, so go check that one out. But let's get started. All right, so this is the paint I ended up going with, that Sherwin-Williams. It's a Promar ceiling paint. And I have a contractor or a pro account on there, so they gave it to me for $104. If you guys don't have a pro account there, I wouldn't recommend buying it. I think it's like double the price or probably even more, I can't remember. But definitely, if you're a contractor, go over there, grab this paint. I've heard good things about it. I saw a couple reviews on it, and even the people that work there told me that it covers really well. So we're gonna go ahead and just paint the ceilings with this. After that, when I get to the walls video, I have other paint that we're gonna paint the walls with. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. But before we do that, this has been sitting for about 3 or 4 days. So I ended up buying this. It was on sale when I was in the store. This was like $4, $5. I'm just gonna mix it up, make sure it's mixed well in there, and then we'll go ahead and prime the X7 and then start painting. All right, everyone, now that the paint is mixed up, I just wanted to show you what's on my gun. So right now there is a 10-inch extension, and this is the normal gun that comes with the X7. I am gonna change this out for the 20-inch extension. The reason why is I can spray the ceilings a lot easier. I don't have to hold my hand up all the way up. You guys already know I have the hose whip on here for flexibility. I have a 515 tip. This also comes with the X7. If you guys don't know much about tips, the first number you multiply by 2, that gives you your fan width. The second number is the orifice size, that gives you the amount of paint that's coming through. 515 worked great for me when I did the ceilings and the walls. I noticed that when I did the trim with this, it was a little bit too much. So I bought a 311 tip, which is less paint coming out, better fine finish. So I recommend using something with the smaller orifice size if you're doing trim, or even a fine finish tip for trim. Now, one other thing I noticed about these true airless tips, I've noticed that there's not a lot of fingering or hard lines, and pretty much what that means is if you guys ever sprayed and you see like these hard edges at the tip of your fan or like at the edge of your fan, you either have to dial in your pressure. I haven't had any issues with that, honestly. So I've pretty much dialed it in to where I feel like it works for me. I do like a test spray and it gives me like a nice feathered edge, and then I just pretty much go to town spraying everything. So these tips work really well. I know there's a lot of professional painters out there that'll use like a different machine. There's like a Titan machine, there's a more professional grade Graco machines, and those probably last a lot longer. Honestly, for me, this is gonna work great. There are different tips that you can buy for this too. You can change out this guard for like a Rack X guard, I think they call it, and then you can get like fine finish tips. You can get a bunch of like different other tips that Graco makes, but for now, these true airless tips work great. So, and then the last thing that's on my gun, you guys already know, is the hose whip, the flexibility, less fatigue, and make sure you have your respirator. That way you're not breathing in all of these fumes and the overspray. And also the overspray on these true airless tips are great. I rarely see any, so definitely great tips all around. But I haven't seen too many videos on YouTube comparing different tips, and honestly, I haven't used any other one to give you guys a comparison, but maybe once I start getting a couple more tips, we can do a comparison video and kind of go from there. So now that everything is set up, I'm just gonna swap this out for the 20-inch extension. I'm gonna go ahead and prime the pump, and then I'll show you guys how I paint the ceilings. Let's go. To give you an example of a nice feathered edge, it'll pretty much look something like this. So there's no hard lines here, and whenever you do a 50% overlap as you continue to spray, it'll give you nice coverage, and you won't see any of those hard lines on your walls or on your ceilings. So I haven't seen any hard lines or fingering as I've been using these tips. So I pretty much did a quick test spray. I wanted to make sure it's nice coverage when I spray, and now I can go ahead and start doing the ceilings, and we'll keep going from there. So that pretty much wraps up day one. This took me about an hour. I started at 11 when I was looking at the video times, and then I ended around like 12:02. And the only reason it took me that long was because after every room, I ended up stopping and then taking a light to see if I missed any spots. It's a little dark outside. It's been raining. I was hoping it was going to be sunny. That way more light can come in and I can see better. But I just wanted to make sure I had good coverage. So I stopped, make sure everything was good, and then I kept moving. If I didn't stop, it probably would have taken me anywhere between 30 to 40 minutes, I would say. This machine is amazing. I love it. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So tomorrow, day 2 is going to be the walls. I'm going to end up sanding these down just a little bit with some fine wallpaper, and then just make sure everything is smooth and ready for tomorrow. But other than that, everyone, thank you again for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun making these videos for you guys. Again, it'll be a 3-part series. Tomorrow, it'll be walls. Day 3, it'll be trim. And then after that, this whole apartment will be done, at least paint-wise. After that, it'll be the floors, and then the bathroom, and then the kitchen appliances will be coming in after that. So stay tuned for those videos. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything I could have did better. For you professional painters out there, if there's any techniques that you guys want to share with me, let me know. I'll be more than willing to listen. Other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.